In this video, I'm going to talk about the radial projection patterning method that you use when you want to expand a small pattern piece. For example, in the cut of women's clothes, we have these pages showing these meticulously researched pattern shapes from the period, but they need to be expanded to human scale. Radial projection means radiating in lines from a common point. For example, this is a common point, and depending on the shape of the pattern, you would draw lines to fixed spots to create the shape. In this example, we have a half-scale pattern of a bodice front. Here is the bust level line, that's the bust apex. Here is center front, the side seam. And then we have the waist dart and the shoulder dart. A quick method of taking this half-scale pattern and making it larger is using the radial projection method. Draw a square and place the half-scale pattern against one line, taping it down so it won't shift as you're doing your work. Once you have the half-scale pattern securely taped in place, then you draw lines from the common point here that we're radiating from through each of the prominent features on the half-scale pattern. For example, I'm going to measure to this point here, from the radiating point here to that is 6 7/8. This is a half scale, so we need to double that. So that's 13 1/4. That line radiates to there, expanding this pattern to the full scale. Let's draw the other end of the side seam, radiating from the common point to the edge of the half scale is 4 3/4. It's half scale, so I need to double that, so that is 9 1/2. Drawing a line from that dot to this other dot gives me, in full scale, the side seam. You repeat that method for each of the points on this pattern. When you're using the radial projection method, what I do is I make a copy of the page in the book that I want to replicate. keeping my book safe, then I can cut the pattern piece out of the copy that I want to use. I've darkened these lines with marker so that you can see them more easily. On the paper, you need to do the same grid here so that we have our common radiating point. Place your pattern along that, tape it down so it won't move around while you're working. Then you need to do some math. You need to calculate the ratio between the actor's measurements. For example, here, this is the front of a skirt, CF is center front. You need to know how long your actor is from waist to hem and calculate the ratio between your pattern piece and where your actor's center front is. For example, in this example, if this pattern piece is 4.5 inches long and say your actor is about 42.5 inches long at the side seam, then your projection ratio is 1 to 10. Depending on the size of your actor, that's where your calculator will come in. So, to project the center front, you will measure down 42.5 inches here. Then I'm going to radiate from this corner through this point to find where the hem is at the outer edge of this. And so forth. You would plot each piece, each corner on the pattern piece.